We brought in a Star Wars expert this time so that people don't get mad at us. Hunter, what's your opinion on The Last Jedi?
Good.
Agreed completely, man. I don't know. We have like 100 something subscribers. So thank you very much for those of you subscribed and like and watch our videos. Star Wars has kind of been a little bit hostile for us.
we made them angry early, just so you know.
Wait,
Yeah.
like your subscribers, your followers,
The
they got mad at you
I
guys.
think the subscribers are fine. It's the people who came and watched because the title was "You're wrong about The Last Jedi."
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what the title was.
I see. Okay,
So they got
well,
upset.
let's make you're even more wrong about The Last Jedi for showing up thinking that people were going to agree with you on a video. You guys,
Yeah, true.
this
Yeah.
is YouTube, the gallery of ideas. Nobody knows me, and I'm just like going off already.
No,
Hold on.
okay. So before I introduce Hunter,
Yeah, don't.
I have to tell you there was a fun thing that happened on that video where there was this one guy who just left like a novel about why we were wrong.
Timestamped.
And
Timestamped for
and I
our
had
statements.
I had a comment response drafted to him for the longest time, and I don't think I even told you this. But I'm pretty sure what I wrote out and I never responded to with was, yeah, man, I ain't reading all that. God bless or my condolences, whichever it is.
Stay mad, weirdos. Stay mad, weirdos.
Yeah.
Stay
Well,
mad.
Well, Star Wars is just one of those franchises that it's got passionate followers, which I think you and I, the scale goes from lowest here, and then it just goes up to you, I think,
Probably.
in the room. In the room.
I did not know that I was getting brought in as a Star Wars expert. This is not self-proclaimed, by the way. If my brother Trevor watches this, he's going to be like, that dude does not know nearly as much about Star Wars as I do. But, like, he's watched the Clone Wars and stuff. And, like, I haven't. I think we might... should I save this? Like, my whole relationship to Star Wars kind of thing? All I'm saying is that, like, I care a lot about the themes in Star Wars, and I think the world is very cool. And
Yeah.
hot take, but lightsabers go zhwum, and I
Yeah,
like
yeah, they're
them.
very
They go
cool.
zhwum.
They're very
And
cool
I
for
think it's
that.
so cool for them
Yeah.
to go zhwum. Like
What I said in our episode about A New Hope was that I think what George Lucas did with the world building is almost unmatched with any other franchise.
yeah.
And that he should probably humble himself out about writing characters.
Yeah, and scripts.
Why not? We should all humble ourselves out about something, I think. And yeah. Well, I'll let you all do your
Do your intro.
Yeah, we still have
I'm
our
like
intro,
hijacking
so-
the podcast, and I was.
Yeah, we haven't even started.
Yeah, okay, so how unscripted our show is. None of us knew that Hunter was going to be on the episode today.
Yeah, Hunter was just here hanging out.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, we're going to record. You're in.
I just had like 2 slices of pizza and
saw
soda
some
water, and I
kittens.
pet some cats, and then like here I am.
There
Yeah.
you are. So this is Full-Time Movie Fans, and I'm your host, Jarvis. This is other host.
On the same camera today,
Yeah,
Michael.
Michael.
And we have a special guest.
I'm Hunter. Hi. What do I say here?
Friend of Michael's.
Yeah. Friend of Michael's, longtime friend of Michael's. I guess friend of the pod now. I've always wanted to be a friend of the pod.
Yeah, you're
People say that all the time. Like they're like, oh, friend of the pod, Hunter. So now I am now I can't proclaim this, but like at least by definition, I am friend of the pod, Hunter.
Yeah.
Even if you guys never say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
Friend of the
official.
pod,
It feels
Hunter,
good.
is here as
Yeah.
our co-host today.
And he's also going to be giving us a lot of wisdom and knowledge regarding.
Yeah, this man is an encyclopedia about Star Wars knowledge in
Apparently not as
particular.
good as his
No,
brother.
I'm so scared of like, oh man, they're gonna come
Starting
for
to feel
me.
the pressure, aren't you?
You can't, but they can't find me. I'm like not anywhere
Yep.
anymore.
That's how I feel about it.
It's so good.
So
It's so good
stay
to be
weird in the
offline.
comments,
They're
nerds.
gonna find that guy that does the geolocation to find you.
They are.
Oh yeah,
and
just by his height.
There's gonna be a leaf outside that's gonna let him track you down.
Yeah.
It's just the cedar pollen
I just want to be
pattern.
clear. What that dude does is so cool. I am terrified of what he does. That's nuts.
But
like
that's you for Star Wars, though.
no, I like okay. Now I'm gonna hide. No, I'm gonna go into hiding from Star Wars fans.
As you should. They're weird.
They're weird. They're weirdos, and I love Star Wars, and other people should love Star Wars, just not so much. Yeah, I think like my relationship to Star Wars is like so many other people's. Like it started from a really young age, and then like as I got older, I related to the stories differently, and then like The Force Awakens swung around, and it was like a moment. Everybody was like, this. I don't know. There's not going to be something like that ever again, I think. At least not. I would be surprised if it happens in our lifetime. And it reignited something in me that I forgot was there. And, like, however you feel about The Last Jedi, like, that is the movie that reinvigorated it in me in a way that was, like, obsessive. Like, where I was like, I love what Star Wars stands for suddenly. I don't just love the experience of like watching Star Wars, but I love what Star Wars can mean when it means something to people, outside of being like, outside of its world building, outside of all of this, like all of that is unmatched and incredible. But suddenly I was like, right, I get it. I get it.
Like The Last Jedi did something that most of the other Star Wars movies didn't do, and that was unlock a lot of potential for the entire universe.
And in my opinion, it unlocks, like, I know we're not potting about Last Jedi today, but I'm so glad I could go on the record with some of this. I think what The Last Jedi did for me was it unlocked more thematic potential with the other movies too. Like suddenly, like the movies being about hope, the movies being about seizing your own destiny, and all of this stuff is there. And it's there and you relate to it when you're watching the original trilogy, but it like opens it up in a way that's like so cool and beautiful, and not in a definitive way either. It's not making a definitive statement about Star Wars. It's simply, in my opinion, that movie is doing such a cool thing where it's like giving it back to people in a way that's like, you kind of get to define. I'm tired of people saying you have to be this kind of person to be this way. You have to be this kind of person to have this kind of power. It like democratizes Star Wars in a way, which is like,
you have control over your destiny and what you get to be as a person.
Yeah, and like, okay, Luke is the chosen one, or Anakin's still the chosen one, or whatever. Everybody has all these fan theories. Ultimately, like, what you do with your position and what you do, like the choices that you make matter.
Yeah,
everything
matter
is a choice.
more than what you are.
Exactly, and like, there's a lot to be said. I know you guys did a whole podcast about the Rise of Skywalker, and I think like there's some things in that really undermine that, but the little credit, some of the credit that I'll
awful.
It's the
movie.
podcast's most hated movie at the moment.
Okay, it's bottom rung,
and we did
a letterbox,
and we did Emoji Movie.
Yeah, no,
it's below Emoji Movie on the ranking.
Wow.
Yeah, the rank is Rise of Skywalker, and I think we still have Everything Everywhere All at
as
Once
the
at
top.
the top.
As number one.
So that's the
And then
rating
everything
right
in between.
That's sick.
I have plans to at some point get a little DVD case behind us that has all of the movies we've done in order.
That's cool.
Yeah,
which would be
we'll
fun.
put them in order.
Yeah.
From worst to best.
I love that. I think like every time that I'm kind of like ranking things, I'm always like a little scared of like I am an obsessive Letterboxder.
You are.
If people do want to come bother me, you can bother me on Letterboxd. That's fine. Get in the comments, weirdos. But I keep calling him
He's
weirdos.
Brennan. No,
It's
you're
like
right.
starting to become verbal assault.
No, you're right.
I don't think you're a weirdo.
That's what we call them,
Yeah,
actually.
we recognize our place amongst the weirdos.
I'm a weirdo too. That's why I'm here. But anytime I like rank something on Letterboxd, I obsessively go through my lists and re-rank things after I've rewatched them or after I watch them again. I have running lists for every year that I've ever seen a movie in.
Yeah.
And if I see like a new movie from 1997, like I add it to the 97 list and then I rank it again. And so like I'm such a big fan keeping lists going.
So outside of this, just because I'm curious, what's Hunter's #1 movie of all time currently?
It's a really difficult question. If you're asking me what like the greatest movie of all time is, or what my favorite movie of all time is, they're two different questions. They're two totally different questions. I often cite Chungking Express, Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express is my favorite movie of all time, which the Star Wars weirdos will probably know nothing about.
What is that? And that's what order is that? Number 13?
Chungking Express?
Yeah, number 13.
In what?
With the sesame chicken?
Oh my god. Oh no. Which combo
Oh yeah,
number
sorry,
is it?
I forgot to tell you that
like,
Jarvis's favorite thing is making awful jokes.
Well, you know what? I feel like
I'm the best at.
I feel like I just got hit in the face with a trash can lid, but I respect it. Which number? Which combo number? Yeah, the Chungking Express. No, it's I think also going up there is like before Sunset, the second in the Richard Linklater Before trilogy. I don't know. Those are the two I bounce back and forth with being my favorite movies of all time.
Okay. So Jarvis, what was your first experience with?
And I don't remember.
Empire Strikes Back. That's the one.
I saw this movie so long ago, a long time ago, and in this galaxy,
movie
actually.
chair far away.
Not even in the theater, because I mean, I guess there have been a lot of reshowings in theaters, so that's my bad for missing those. But
yeah,
I like
same.
most young children. I just watched it on, I don't know, the Superstation or whatever movie channel played.
The Superstation.
Remember that one?
No.
But anyways,
is that like Turner Movie Classics?
TBS Superstation. They used to just play a lot of movies randomly, I think. So there's a few movie channels that were out there that whatever. And so, but I just have to give, and this is the same as last time. I have to give my most recent impression, which
that's fine. I do too.
Was a couple hours ago.
Nice. I knew it was either going to be this or the other movie we're doing.
Both of them.
You did it. Nice.
You gotta like cram them in before the pod.
Right
just
before.
like, keep them under the wire,
right and fresh.
Keep it fresh in the brain.
Right, but I somehow lose most of it anyways once the cameras are on. Honestly, I definitely like this one better than A New Hope.
Yeah.
I think it's better.
Not a hot take. I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty.
The Empire
common
Strikes
knowledge.
Back.
Pretty common knowledge. Yeah, The Empire Strikes Back. And you clicked on the
yeah,
link,
you should know. You
know what
you're
this,
watching.
you know what it's about.
I know that we spent like 10 minutes on The Last Jedi, but that's just because,
because we
it earned its laurels.
And we
Sundance Film Festival Audience Award winner.
Wait, before I know we're already in Empire. Can I tell a really cool story about Last Jedi really quick?
Yes.
For my birthday during the pandemic, I was incredibly depressed and sad, like a lot of people were, and all I wanted to do.
Some of us still are.
Yeah. Look, we stay living with the consequences of 2020 through 2022 and beyond.
We stay try living.
Yeah, we do. We do stay try living. That's a good T-shirt for you guys. We stay try living.
Yeah, stay try living. That should be
stay try living. And so all I wanted to do for my birthday that year was like, I just wanted to watch Star Wars all day. I wanted to wake up and just have like a little marathon of like some of my favorite movies, and I kept a Zoom room open and was just like, hey, everybody come in and come hang out and watch a Star Wars with me. You can sync up with us. I'll give you time codes, whatever. And I tried to like, I think I had already started streaming at that point, and so I was able to put like a detailed schedule together of like what I was going to be watching, and so I started with New Hope, and then I watched New Hope through Last Jedi. I ended the day with Last Jedi because it's a long. That's 4, 5, 6, 8, 5 movies. Yeah, 5.
Yeah. And that's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And
full day.
Yep. Full time.
Just like hanging out with my friends all day and watching Star Wars and chilling and like some people were watching along and they weren't in the Zoom call, but they were texting me while they were watching. And it was such a fun day of like just talking about this thing that all of us loved. And some people jumped in for their favorite movie and, you know, whatever. And so we're ending the day with The Last Jedi. And that movie makes me really emotional at the end and in a really tough year. Like it was so good to just hear its message of like, just like what you do impacts other people and it matters.
Yeah.
And like, the hope message of that movie. And so at that time I was chronically online and was tweeting all day. And I remember, because I thought it was funny, tweeting at Ryan Johnson.
Oh, I remember this, yeah.
And saying, hey, Ryan Johnson, you're technically a bully for making me cry on my birthday. Hey, Ryan Johnson, just got done watching The Last Jedi. You're technically a bully for making me cry on my birthday, or something to that effect. And Ryan Johnson tweeted me back. He replied to my tweet, and all he said was, fair enough, period. Happy birthday, all caps. And I
remember
like,
this because I was freaking out with you.
Fair enough. Fair enough is such a funny response to saying, to me calling him a bully. It was very, very, very nice of him. And some people think he's a demon. I just think he's like one of the...
Yeah, he's really cool.
Did he understand you meant it in a good way?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
like a lot of
100%.
people
For
were
sure.
hating on it
No.
hard. So
It was. I'm sure people can go back and find the tweet and whatever.
No, he totally knew.
And people online were weird about that tweet too.
Yeah.
They were like, they were weird because he responded to it. Like, of course, people that don't have lives continue to like bully people online about what they like. And people were weird about it, but like it was such a special moment. And so Ryan Johnson will never see this, but again, I will say thank you, Ryan Johnson. He was super cool.
He might be
true.
on
Maybe
he might be on the podcast next week.
Okay. Hold on, let me tweet it. I got it. Yeah, clearly.
Since you guys are bros.
Yeah. I got this.
Also, hot take.
We hope that we get a chance someday to talk to this guy in person because we love Ryan Johnson. I do. I personally.
Yeah, I love him too.
I think
love him a lot.
I think he's cool.
Yeah.
My hot take is people are perfectly allowed to bully other people about the things that they love, as long as they're under the understanding that they are also subject to being bullied about not loving it.
Equal opportunity bullying. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Equivalent
I can live in that world.
Yeah.
Like I will just not express my opinion because I'm a weakling. I get my feelings hurt.
So that's the last we'll hear of Hunter for the rest of the podcast.
Thanks, Hunter.
Thanks for being here.
It's good to see everybody. I came here to light everything on fire.
And then just run.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jarvis, your first impressions of the movie.
I just liked it. It was just more Star Wars. You know, it was just more of the good stuff
Where it
from
left off.
the first one. Yeah, I mean, Tauntauns. We got some of those.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of neat. We got to see what the inside of one looks like.
Yeah. If you ever wanted to know.
You know, a lot more space creatures, and a lot more lightsaber fights with Darth Vader. So that's always cool. Darth Vader being a menace. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, some might call him that.
They'd be wrong.
Right, because we know that that's who's the actual.
Actually, he's not the Venom Menace.
Yeah,
It's like that guy.
Yeah, we
they
need
brought
you
the
for
Star
that.
Wars podcast, the Star Wars expert on to the podcast to do that guy.
He's just here to fact check,
to
actually.
shake his glasses and
Yeah.
excuse me, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had a good time. Like, it's just so much a part of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ingrained. Like I said, it's a movie that's ingrained in our culture, and it's ingrained in my brain and in my heart to not speak ill of it. You know what I mean?
Ingrained in the membrane.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Although some of the things that you said were a lot more prevalent in this one.
Yep.
Regarding male chauvinism and just toxic masculinity, regarding females, and so that was a lot more prevalent in this one. He had a hard time managing his emotions, and I think when men who are not emotionally mature, intelligent, it just defaults to anger, which is what he did.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
fine, I guess I'm just gonna leave then.
Han in the first movie was a lot like, whatever. you know you love me.
I'm the cool
And in this
guy.
one, it was quite literally, if you don't want me to leave, say you'll fuck me right now.
Yeah.
Say it. Okay, I'm leaving then. it was the vibe
Yeah.
for all of this
but,
movie.
But outside of that, like I think we talked about it. It's a product of its time, and we've
And a product of
hopefully-
George Lucas not knowing how to write characters that aren't just
Yeah. Hopefully we've
caricatures.
hopefully in 2024 we've evolved a little bit more past that. But you're right about
Well,
that.
The
That's
Last
still-
Jedi
that's still
didn't
not
have
great.
caricatures of characters. They had fleshed out. Whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's my take. And then of course, what about yours? And then I can't wait to hear.
It's more of the same. I agree. I think I
Concur.
like it better than A New Hope. The world still feels massive, but at the same time, like there's like two things going on at the same time at all times. So it's like the world is big, but only like so big. I like the weird thing of separating the main characters into doing their own things,
Yeah.
which doesn't happen that often anymore, except for in The Last Jedi. So yeah, that's my basic. I watched it the most recently on my phone on an airplane back from Disney World. So
The best way to watch it.
right after I watched A New Hope, and so everything that I was thinking about A New Hope, which for Hunter and the people who haven't watched the New Hope episode, was very much the world is very big. It feels
big is
awesome,
it?
massive,
The world.
massive.
Yeah. Do we like?
Isn't
Do
it?
we like big worlds?
It's worlds.
Yeah.
The worlds are big.
Yeah, the worlds are big.
To continue being an actually guy.
one of them.
Isn't it the galaxy? Whatever.
Yeah,
One of the worlds got exploded.
Galaxy's
in the first movie.
Edge.
There's one less worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're trying to plan for more, but the first movie took care of that problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the characters still don't feel like they're that good to me. It's weird having grown into this like expectation of what these characters are, and something I said in the New Hope episode is watching the original trilogy back again, I finally understand why Harrison Ford is so anti-Star Wars. Mm-hmm. It's because of how awful Han is, just in general. He's supposed to be like cool masculine dude, very like macho, very like centered, and he understands what's going on at all times, and what he actually is just a pick-me boy.
Sure.
That knows how to fly a spaceship really well.
He's a space F cowboy.
Yeah. That's how I feel about
like
it,
that?
which is very good. It's very disappointing
Thanks. I get upset
as
when I
somebody
don't
who
get
hasn't
back.
who hadn't watched them in a long time.
Jarvis needs recognition.
I
He
do.
demands to be
Yeah,
heeded.
that's
Because
very
when you
good.
don't, I just keep repeating it.
Very good, sweetie. The adults are talking now.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Hunter, what's
Yes.
you can
The
either do
opinion
first
we've all been waiting
impression
for.
or most recent impression, whichever one.
I mean, I've seen this movie like 100 times.
Right.
Like it's.
Tell us about your 87th impression.
So that was the same day that Ryan Johnson tweeted him.
Yeah. I think like the thing that is so cool to me about Empire is like one, it's the fractured narrative. It's the heroes kind of split. Everybody's split like billiard balls, and like they all are kind of scattered to the winds, and then they have to like the entire movie. I mean, outside of Luke, is like everybody's just kind of trying to fight to get back together and figure out, but they're learning their own things on their own, you know? And like, I think structurally, it's my favorite Star Wars movie. When I look at like how it's constructed, and it just, all of the characters get to shine and everybody kind of gets equal play. And like, so if you're a Han fan, like, you've got a lot of Han in this movie. If you're a Leia fan, you've got a lot of Leia. If you're a Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2 fan, like everybody's got kind of this equal footing and an equal chance to do their thing and tell their story. And
They feel more intentional.
yeah, and like what makes Star Wars so cool, like this is so fun because I actually disagree with you guys on the characters a little bit, only because they are like, I kind of see Star Wars, especially like own construction, the original construction of the trilogy, as being like this kind of like pulp paperback sci-fi novel that you like pull off a shelf.
I see what you're
somewhere,
saying, yeah.
right. And so like the characters are broad, but they are broad for by design, right? Like, and then you go into Empire.
I don't think Leia's broad. I think she's a lady.
You're right. Who's the chauvinist?
No wonder
face.
you like it, Hunter.
Yeah.
We got him, guys.
We got her. Oh, is that the cop? I'm sorry, I'm hearing the cops. The woke police have arrived.
We got him.
I don't know. I think there's something so cool about like, okay, so you have these like kind of really cookie cutter pulp classic characters, and then like you really get to open them up a lot in Empire. Suddenly Han
like open them up like a tauntaun.
Yeah, exactly.
In the icy
and
tundra.
crawl inside and dig around in there.
Yeah.
Have a little
more.
nap.
Exploit them. Yep.
Eat a gut or two, and then I don't know. I just think like every time I watch this movie, I'm kind of surprised at how much more the characters grow in their depth, in their way, right? Like I know I'm not looking at like real people, but like watching these kind of pulpy archetypes deepen even just a little bit, right? I think Leia really gets a chance to be a little more headstrong and a little more forward in this movie. Han suddenly gets this layer where he does kind of become a pick-me boy, and you're like, oh,
what's going on there, dude?
Whoa, you are like kind of insecure, and like that actually makes you more interesting. And like, I don't know, I'm sure we'll get into more takes on like who all the characters are. And Luke is having this like this spiritual awakening, and like is put to the test as like his spiritual journey is broadening in a way that he didn't expect. And like, I don't know if we're talking about the big three, like I just think they get so much deeper and so much more interesting. And Luke gets the chance to like kind of reject the world more a little bit, because what is all this? I mean, he's essentially like, what is all this yogi bullshit? Like this is, I want to know more, but like you're making me do cross country.
Yeah, dude, I want to swing light sword. I don't want to join your cult.
Yeah. I like, what is all this? And like, there's something so cool about like the charge that Yoda puts forth to him, and like him having to accept that challenge and accept that call and venture forth and make the call to leave instead of stay and grow stronger. Like I just think everything that the characters do in these movies really say a lot about who they are and what their core tenets are. So I mean, as much as like George Lucas is so bad at writing character, or so bad at writing dialogue sometimes, I think what he does in the earth of what he's making might tell us more about that kind of thing. And I mean, like, Empire is an incredibly well written movie. I think like it's some of the best writing of this type of all time. Just the way that things interweave, huh?
Plot wise,
and I think like why am I forgetting the other screenwriter?
Because you're on camera now.
I'm on camera now.
That's
and
how
of
that
course,
works. Yeah, we've learned.
I'm gonna forget names, but
I can just hear your brother typing in the comments.
everybody. Well, my brother won't know that. My brother knows nothing about the filmmaking, really. He just knows like Captain Rex was
I
here.
like the light swords.
Yeah.
Salacious B. Crumb was in this movie.
Well, okay, yeah. I guess we should probably get into the plot. I know we've been going on for a while.
Well, actually, I just want to sum up your first impression. So, good.
Yeah, good.
Your impression,
Good.
Your impression, good.
Empire Strikes Back, good. It's true. Yeah.
There we go.
So, generally, I take the role of going through the plot in a haphazard way.
And then I just interject the
But I have a new tradition of when we have a guest, I force them to do it instead. So, plot summary, 15 minutes.
You could probably be the best at it, even though I've seen it. Yeah, even though I saw it a few hours ago, like, you've seen it more times.
I mean, what's crazy is that, like, as many times as I've seen this movie, this happens to me with all movies. I forget key details.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like
No,
one of the fun things about me is if you ever watch a movie with me, I'm always like, oh my God, I forgot this happens. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like something big, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Movies I've seen 1,000 times. I just rewatched A Knight's Tale with my friends, and like I've seen that movie maybe more than any other movie in my life because I don't know. I guess my TV was stuck on TNT for 15 years. But like even then, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about it. Like,
TNT. That might have been where I saw this movie.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
It may not have been TBS.
So Empire Strikes Back starts on Hoth, the snow planet.
A long time ago.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And he, the rebel base is there, and the Empire comes to attack.
Yep.
Big battle.
They find him. Yep. They found him.
The dead speak.
And it told them. It told them that they were on the Hoth planet.
And so they have like Luke.
It did.
Luke, what is Luke going out to do? Find snowberries or something? I don't remember.
He was doing
kidding.
It was some asteroid or impact that he was.
Oh yeah,
he was like investigating stuff, right?
He finished up something, and he was like, "I'm gonna go find that."
He's
meteor.
investigating the anomaly of like the probe droids, right?
Yeah,
and then like he gets lost in the snowstorm, and attacked by are they called Wampas? I think they're called something crazy like that.
Yeah,
and
the big old snowman,
abominable snowman,
the abominable snowman, yeah,
the abdominal snowman. And
very buff. Very, very buff.
Never skip crunch day.
Then they send Han out to find him.
No,
Han basically forcefully
everybody
goes
was
out.
Everybody was pretty just kind of like whatever about Luke not showing up.
Yeah,
and I think Han was also looking for a reason to stay because he liked Leia, but he wouldn't say it.
That was where
that's
where he was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go do bounty hunter stuff."
Yeah, let me go find this guy since y'all won't.
Their fight in the ice cave where he's like them two together. There's a really good deleted scene of them two, where I think they kiss in the original cut of the movie.
Luke in the Wampa?
No, yeah,
in the ice cave.
No, ice caves, man.
Luke and Han
cozy in there. No, Han and Leia, they have their argument at the rebel base.
They do not kiss.
They don't kiss. I think I might be wrong about that. See, here I go talking out of my ass on a podcast. But I think
it's okay. I do it every time.
A deleted scene. I think there's a deleted scene where they kiss for the first time. There, he like forcefully like kisses her, and she's like
without her consent,
and then
like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman,
like the gentleman he is, but
just
like
say you love me. I know you do.
That's his whole vibe. Just say you love me. I know you do.
Yeah. That is his whole vibe.
And
sure
then
he has a tattoo of that somewhere on him.
Okay, so the Empire attacks. There's an incredible battle sequence that is like
very cool.
It's
very,
so cool.
Good.
The snow speeders are like one of my favorite spaceships of all time. Sorry,
we see Luke using his brain again. He's not just a handsome face.
You get to be a part of it for Star Tours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's one of the scenes for Star Tours.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you can go to all the planets.
Where they tie up the feet.
Mm-hmm.
So remind me what happens directly after there's the battle, and then what happens
the rebels
directly
leave.
After that? The rebel. Oh, they're forced to leave, right?
Because they're taking off.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we can't find Luke or Han now, and they're like, well, that kind of sucks because we gotta go.
That's right. So the battle happens, and then
oh no, wait, Han.
They come back. They come back with Luke. Because then Luke flies the snowspeeder out, and like he has the whole cool moment where he shoots his little Batman utility belt up onto the,
and then they all just
throws onto the guy.
Yeah, he lightsabers in, throws a bomb in.
That's
right. It's real cool. But what happens immediately after the battle?
Nobody knows to this day.
Nobody has ever known in their lives.
I'm pretty sure it's they.
This is why you don't get me to do this.
It just cuts to the next scene.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't immediately go.
This is such good podcast. Such good audio content.
I think
you watched this earlier, Jarvis. What's your excuse?
Goes to Vader yelling at somebody about finding something.
The classic Vader.
If you guys are going to put me on the spotlight, I didn't even know I was going to be on a podcast, and now I have to look up the synopsis.
Dagobah.
No, that's fine.
Dagobah. That happens.
Yeah, but how does he get to
Dagobah? With his
TIE
fighter. Yeah, his X-Wing.
Yeah. But why does he go to Dagobah?
Because he's trying to meet Yoda.
He was being called to it.
Yeah, he was literally when he was on Hoth. when Han found him, he was talking nonsense.
Yeah.
About it. Oh, Dagobah, Yoda, I need to go to Dagobah.
Is that real?
Because of Force
That is
Ghosts
real.
or something, yeah.
This is crazy that I don't remember some of these details. This is nuts.
One of the best movies ever written. Hunter's words 5 minutes ago. Go back to it.
I'm telling you.
But hey, timestamp it in the
I'm
comments. Timestamp it in the comments.
I don't remember what I had for lunch today. I don't know how you expect me.
But laser sword, go from.
The laser sword go. Zwoom, zwoom.
It does.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay.
What do Wampas? How
Oh
do
my
Wampas
God.
go?
Okay.
Chomp chomp on the tauntauns.
This is too much to read.
Hey, during this little intermission here, while Hunter figures out how to do my job,
Not so easy, is
why-
it?
why don't you hit that subscribe button down there? Hit a like.
Yeah, man. It would
Put a
help
little
us out.
kissy emoji in the comments for Hunter.
Tell
because
us
you
about
love
that
him.
deleted scene with Luke and the Wampa.
Go find it.
Yeah.
Go find it. And if
Yes,
it
send
doesn't
us a link.
exist, film it for me because I would like to see more kissing.
Yeah. The thing that I think this fan base is missing is an actually
Producer agrees.
very lewd knockoff sex film called Star Whores.
Oh wow.
I think that would
If
go
that
really
existed,
well.
the fandom would be cured and everybody would come together and everything would
And
be fine.
the one rule about it is that it has to involve as many aliens as it does human characters and no women. So just the guys
And the
and the Wampa.
and the snow. Yeah.
Okay.
And the snow
So-
monsters.
It literally, yeah. It literally, the attack happens. Luke is told by Obi-Wan to go to Dagobah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has
Force
Obi-Wan's
Ghost.
like speaking to him, saying go to Dagobah, find Master
Oh,
Yoda.
tell them our
right.
theory on that.
What do you mean the theory on that?
That Obi-Wan, he didn't die. He
Oh,
was
yeah,
dead.
no,
He's
yeah.
just chilling.
Yeah, it's that Obi-Wan's Force Ghost is just a projection like Luke's in The Last Jedi, and he's just hanging out at home
He's
like
just hanging
playing
out.
Fortnite.
He's just watching.
Wait, you're saying that Obi-Wan did a Tupac?
well, because
Obi-Wan did a Biggie?
No, because you think about it, every time we see somebody die from lightsaber, they don't just disappear into nothing.
Well, I have a whole take on this too. We're not going to do it right now, but I have a whole take on this.
Obi-Wan's alive. He's at home chilling.
I have a lore take on this that I'm sure Dave Filoni would be like, that's not correct, but who cares?
We'll ask him.
We'll ask him when he's on the pod. Okay, so like the Empire attacks, the rebels have to flee. Leia, Han, Chewbacca, C-3PO all get on the Millennium Falcon. The hyperdrive malfunctions, so they can't make it all the way out.
Yeah.
But they hide in the asteroid field.
Yes.
And then Luke is like, well, if we're evacuating, I guess I'm going to Dagobah. Let's see what the fuck is up at Dagobah. And then he goes to Dagobah with R2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then this is where Yoda starts to train him.
Best character in the entire series.
Love Yoda so much. Frank Oz, the king, that's Miss Piggy right there.
Yeah.
That's Miss Piggy.
And the thing I love about
You didn't know
Yoda.
this? Yeah, that's
Oh,
Miss
yeah,
Piggy.
yeah.
Yoda is Miss Piggy.
The thing I love about Yoda is that Luke shows up, crashes basically, and goes, I need to find Yoda. And Yoda, not revealing who he is like, you should come inside, have some dinner, relax, and hang out. And Luke's like, I have to find this guy. I can't be held up. It's important. It's serious. And he's like, it's probably dinner time for Yoda too, okay? So let's eat, and then you can find him after.
Luke's really not that great at knowing who he's looking for is right in front of him, because that happened with Obi-Wan as well.
It did.
He was like, hey, man, I'm looking for this guy. Have you seen him? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't heard of him for a long time. Oh,
Yeah,
is
same
it
thing
because
with
he's
Yoda.
dead? No, he's right here.
Same with you. I'm
So-
looking for a Jedi master here. Well, it's not me. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Jedi, I'm sorry. So the reason I'm forgetting what happens in this movie is because when you break it down to plot, it's surprisingly light, actually.
Yeah, it's just skips
like
between the
literally
scenes.
it's switching between these two things where like basically they get hit like billiard balls at the attack, and then like it's all Luke learning these spiritual lessons from Yoda on Dagobah as he's training him. Luke's faith is being tested. Yoda is teaching him to resist the dark side, to resist anger and fear and all of this. And then Han and Leia are like bobbing and weaving Boba Fett and the rest of the bounty hunters that Vader sends to go find the Millennium Falcon. And then eventually they make it to Bespin, where Lando Calrissian is like, I don't know, the governor or something. Like
he won it in a bet.
Yeah. He wins. Lando Calrissian wins everything in a bet. Do you like my cape? I won it in a bet. Like that's
dude, I
his
love
whole
that.
vibe.
I love that his name literally is spelled with Riz in it.
It's oh my god.
He's so
had it from the
smooth.
beginning.
What a handsome dude.
I'm not online enough for this. I'm not online enough to talk about Riz.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's literally the middle of his name.
It is. It's true. And then like it's Han and Leia on Bespin.
Yeah.
Luke finds out they're in trouble. Is like, I gotta go, and Yoda's like, you could, or you could keep training and become stronger. And Luke's like, no, those are my friends. I gotta go. And then Yoda's like, nice.
Yeah, good choice, brother.
Good choice. That was reverse
You
psychology. Yeah.
You pass.
You passed.
The supreme power.
Enjoy the Force.
Basically, Yoda spends all of the original trilogy telling people not to do things, and then they do them anyway. That he's like, if I tell somebody to not do something, they're gonna do it, and that's what happens in Empire, and that's called character growth.
After Luke passed the test, I think Yoda awarded him with a 1-year premium subscription to the Force.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, because he just had it from there on
Force
out.
XM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And during
I heard they gave Conan his own channel. That's a really niche joke. Somebody's gonna. Yeah.
Well, and Vader's there. He got there before Luke, Leia, and Han and our crew.
At Bespin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And basically said, turn them over as soon as they get here, or you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, because Darth Vader's not to be messed with. I like that he's actually a menacing villain. I don't know that I would say he's as menacing as I felt Thanos was, but he is. Like, when he's there, you know that like it's bad news for our heroes.
You just don't know what his motives are at the moment.
Yeah, and
you don't know what you know that he's like a menacing figure that's very powerful, but you don't really know like what he's for.
I think this is such an interesting discussion, actually, like about Vader as a villain, because he is like kind of the platonic idea in pop culture of a villain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
And then we get to Avengers Infinity War, and like suddenly Thanos is like the new, I mean, like alongside Vader.
Yeah.
You can just name drop Thanos and everybody's like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
That's
Except
the same
Thanos
guy.
was an agent of his own, and Darth Vader's a sock puppet.
And like that's true. It's true, but like
we've got to create with Darth Vader. The sock puppet.
we gotta. I think what's so interesting about, like, we're talking about a difference in cinematic language. Not to get too uppity, but like Vader is this kind of looming force who is mysterious, and we don't know a lot about him, and that's kind of where the power lies in Vader as an icon, right? Like,
well, we know that he can block blasters with his hands.
yeah,
We know that much.
I mean, there's like the Force choke moment in A New Hope, which is so where you're like, oh my god, whoa,
Dude,
like,
he literally force choked that guy through the phone.
yeah,
Which was pretty
through
cool.
The FaceTime.
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
So that's even
like,
crazier.
You see these glimpses of his power, but like, you know, we talk about this a lot in pop culture now, where people, the grand debate is always out there, like, who's the greatest villain of all time, and you
It's
know,
obviously Eisen from Bleach.
I've seen. Oh man, you have veered into a zone that I know nothing about. Please, educate me. But like, it's very interesting that we have this discussion about like Thanos, Vader. I mean, and I don't think, I don't want to create a straw man or anything, but like, what's so interesting about Vader is his mystique. You do not know what his deal is.
It's why the prequels are so interesting.
And the prequels are interesting because, like, you get this backstory, and some people say it deflates the original trilogy. I completely disagree. I kind of take the 3 trilogies kind of on their own merit anyway. I mean, they're thematically linked, but they're so stylistically different anyway. And then like with Thanos, Infinity War is a Thanos movie. He's essentially the protagonist of that film. And like, he is scary because you spend so much time with him.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know. I think about this a lot. Like when I rewatch Star Wars, I have grown up in a world where Vader was like, kids around me loved Vader.
Yeah.
They were like into Vader. That's my favorite Star Wars character. I don't think anybody feels that way about Thanos. I don't think anybody's like, my favorite Marvel character is Thanos. You guys know somebody whose favorite Marvel character is Thanos?
He's my favorite villain for sure. But
Okay,
There's
well,
a few- yeah,
it's
there-
that's a
different.
different thing.
There's
It's
people out
different.
there.
I'm sure there's somebody.
And then when you get
I'm
into
sure
the
there's somebody.
comics, he's
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more cool. So
But like, I think, where was I going with all that? I only bring that up because Thanos got mentioned, but like, it is such an interesting power to this movie that Vader is like this looming force. And what's crazy in retrospect is like when you get to the end of the movie, the movie really does feel like it's like we're charging him for the big moment at the end. Like he is here, but he's not doing a lot, and he's like scary, but he's not doing a lot, and you're almost like, if you didn't know any better, what is Vader doing in this movie other than just being like the force pushing everything towards our heroes? But like he really is like lying in wait until he can come up and like have his big moment at the end,
Yeah.
which is
Are
so
you
cool.
ready for another weird analogy?
Yeah, sure.
Darth Vader is just a figurehead for the characters for Luke specifically to have growth and development as
Yeah,
a
of
person.
course.
Much like Fire Lord Ozai
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
just a big bad guy
but like
who wants to
Avatar-
take over everything.
Avatar is Star Wars. Like
Yeah.
Avatar is doing what Star Wars was doing, and it's one of like
But much better. I love Avatar so much.
it's great. It's really great.
I love Avatar.
Star Wars
We're gonna-
walked
we're gonna
so
do that
Avatar
on-
could run.
Yeah, we're gonna do that on full time TV fans.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
We have
That would
to.
be fun.
And maybe subscribe to my full-time OnlyFans.
We'll put the link in the description.
Okay.
That took a turn that you weren't expecting, didn't it?
Well, I am here to support everybody's money-making endeavors. I think
You'll get to see Michael's lightsaber,
Yeah, it's right up there.
and you don't even have to subscribe for it.
is this. So do I just like show myself out or
No.
No,
Okay.
but I
Okay, I'm diving through the window.
no, but I think that they did a good job with Vader, making him menacing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I meant when I was saying with Thanos, because like when Thanos shows up, you start to feel uneasy. When Vader's around, you're just like, okay, this is really bad news for our heroes because he is strong. Like he could force choke you to death at any time. Please bring it. But you know, he's a scary dude, and I think that they played that well because at the beginning, he literally, you know that he's in charge, but you don't know why until he literally force chokes that guy in the board meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, this guy's not to be messed with. And so I think they made him properly menacing, and I like that.
So Bespin's a trap, and then
It's a trap.
the Han gets basically Vader trades Han to Boba Fett, and Han gets dipped in carbonite. We have the "I love you, I know" moment, which I love so much. I like. Again, I have a take on Han that I'm saving for right now, but like we'll talk about it in a bit.
That's fine.
And and then Luke arrives and confronts Vader.
It is should have definitely stayed a little bit longer with Yoda. He
For
is
sure,
not
like,
doing too
he's
hot.
He gets his ass wrecked.
Yeah.
Really just
Loses a hand,
loses a hand, gets told
gets emotionally destroyed.
like it's the most devastating reveal for him.
Yeah, you killed
devastating
my
daddy
father.
reveal. Yeah. And then like
Oh,
That was the biggest
I
L
am
he's
your
taken
father.
probably in his lifetime.
and then gets
Yeah.
and then gets like
There's no way up from there.
and then gets kicked down like the longest shaft of all time.
Just to land, I guess.
And then like what I love so much about this movie, and look, we have spent probably 20 minutes saying stuff that everybody knows already, but like we end the movie with like everybody has lost. Everybody's lost. Like every single one of our characters is defeated, and now they are together. And like, I can't imagine seeing it for the first time and being like,
now what?
What do they do now? Like
First Losers Club.
Yeah.
Han is.
Well, there has to be another movie.
Yeah. Like Han's gone. We don't know if he's coming back. I mean, in the meta, like they literally did not know if Harrison Ford was coming back for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons they froze him. And then like, I don't know. And this is something that I love in storytelling that Infinity War does also, obviously. Just this like big, oh God moment. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
How do we come back from this?
It's a thing that I've noticed movies that are in like a series take from actual like television series. I'm going to say this and then everyone's going to notice it. The end of every first season of a show, highest highs. Everybody's having a great time. Everybody gets what they want. Everybody wins. The end of season 2, absolute rock bottom.
That's true.
So
Every time.
So I was going to say, I guess you could say that their new hope was lost when the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's I'm
so sorry. My bad, guys.
I'm just trying to catch my
like and
breath.
subscribe, please.
I'm just trying to catch my breath. So
Now's a
that's
good time for your
Empire Strikes
Harrison
Back.
Ford take.
that was sure.
Or sorry, your Han
my
Solo
Han Solo
take.
take. Okay, so we're like doing thematic discussions. I mean, like, so my thing with Han is a trope of character that I love so much, and I tend to like when I'm writing. One of my many things that I never get done writing. I love these characters that are. So Han to me, I'm going to use like an analogy sort of, but in some ways I think this is like actually who he is. Han feels to me like a kid who grew up reading adventure novels and convinced himself that he was going to be that guy when he got
Han
older.
Solo watched
So-
all of the Indiana Jones movies.
Literally.
So wait. So like, I got an analogy.
And James Bond.
So he's like Flynn Rider.
Yes. Well, Flynn Rider is totally a Han Solo. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No, I agree with
Yeah.
that.
And I think, like, when you look at Han as, like, kind of this eternal adolescent who, like, is a construction, like, his masculinity is this construction based on something already incredibly reductive. Like, there's a really... there's like a sympathy for him. Not that you're like, oh, poor baby, but like the moments when he feels insecure, you're like, oh, that's the veil dropping. That's him like unable to keep the ruse up anymore. And he really shows himself in Empire with this. And he shows himself again in Return of the Jedi. There are these moments where like he does a thing and then is like, I don't know. Like he's like the luckiest dude in the universe, you know? And I don't know. My thing, the reason why Han remains one of my favorite Star Wars characters, despite being like a real scumbag sometimes, and like if I knew a Han Solo in real life, I would probably not hang out with him ever.
Right. Right.
But like
I agree with that.
as a fictional construct, I think it's one of my favorite tropes of all time. This boy who wanted a bigger life so bad that he was going to make it for himself by hook or by crook, and he's been lying his way through the world as a person that he is not, and like
Wait,
burying himself
I got
under
a question.
it.
I don't know that term. What do hookers have to do with anything?
Who?
You used the phrase and you said hooker.
No,
I'm
he
just trying to
said
figure out what that-
by hook or by
By
crook.
hook or by crook?
hook. Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
what do hookers have to do with anything?
Oh, come on. Han has been around the galaxy.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
he's been around.
Let's be
Okay,
real.
yeah.
We see how he treats women.
Yeah. But then, like, I'm going to say another controversial thing, which I want to be.
How dare you? On
This should not be
Star
controversial.
Wars part
On this podcast
this should not be
of all
controversial, okay?
podcasts.
of all things.
My whole thing with Star Wars, okay, is that I think every Star Wars project is worthy of being somebody's favorite Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
I think
Except for the last one.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it
But,
would
like,
be the Rise of Skywalker's for anyone.
It's going to be for some like 12-year-old
but
who's
I
like,
have
yeah,
met
they should
people-
kiss.
I have met people that's like, that's I love kissing. More kissing, please.
How much did you love Luke and Leia's kiss?
Well,
let's rate that out of 10.
Until everybody knew.
Let's rate that one out of 10.
Before I knew what was going on, I was like, great. Good
Well,
kissing.
I even mentioned this when we talked about it on A New Hope. As soon as Luke found out that was his sister, he was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
And then she does it again at some point. He's like,
That's weird.
I got to tell you something.
Let's get coffee or something. We got a lot to go over. But like, I've met people who like love Rise of Skywalker in a way, and they latch themselves onto things like the Rey and Kylo of it all. There's like a couple things in there that they really, really feel passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And on one hand, I'm like, who am I to tell you that you are wrong about what you love? But also, two, like, I think it made me realize like every Star Wars project is so different that like there is something in it for somebody. And it's the wonderful thing about the world that Lucas created is that anything can exist inside the world of Star Wars. And we say this all the time, like, well, I want to see a Star Wars rom-com or whatever. I don't think people really want to see that because that's like
Who's saying that?
That's the Star Wars holiday special. By the
not
way.
what we love about Star Wars, but I like it's a world where where stories like that do exist. And so all of these different things, all of these different projects, all of these different like genre bends within Star Wars, I get why people love them, you know, because it's giving them something that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And so I say this as a preface to like the movie Solo is a movie that I know people feel really really divided on. It's a movie that I really like to watch. It's really fun for me to watch. I don't know how much I emotionally invest in it, but that read on Han, I remember watching it and being like, that's still Han to me. I get why.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people that don't like that performance or just really don't like Alden Ehrenreich in that movie. I think he's doing really good in that movie, and part of it is because that was always my take on Han, is that he's like, he's the kid who escaped and like just was finding a way to survive, and the only way he knew how to survive was to be a fictional construct of who he actually was.
He is very much the I'm sorry, my ship is actually the coolest ship because
Literally,
it's way faster than everyone
my
else's.
ship is faster than your ship infinity times 1,000.
Yeah,
My ship could beat up your ship.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so I don't know. I love Han so much, and I love Han so much in this movie, and it is why I Love You, I Know actually makes me emotional, because I'm like, here you are staring like death effectively in the face, and you can't drop the ruse, man.
Yeah,
You've been
you get to
begging
continue
for,
to be yourself.
like,
yeah.
and like you have this thing that you have clearly been begging for, this like affection, and you are going into the carbonite. Like, I mean, it's two things. One, you can't drop the ruse, but also like you're kind of putting your chitin on, you're putting your armor on emotionally, so that you don't like submit to the fear of what's happening. Because then the next time we see Han, not to jump to y'all's Return of the Jedi episode, whenever that's going to be, but like
spoilers,
next year actually.
Like when we see him, he is like the most vulnerable thing you've ever. He's like a worm, basically. You know,
like Jabba.
Yeah, but yeah, sure, yeah. And
big worm.
Now I've got Dr. Worm by They Might Be Giants stuck in my head. I love that song. So I don't know. I like Han so unlocks everything I love about Han, unlocks in this movie in a way that like this is the movie that makes me love Han the way I do. long-winded, but
I feel that.
that's my Han take.
No, I can see that. So that you know, Jarvis,
Oh.
when Hunter and I talk about movies, it's a lot like when you and I talk about movies.
Yeah.
Because very specifically, have you seen Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, I have.
So we did that as a review. He went into it going, I think it's a great movie, very fun,
I think it's
very enjoyable. And I went exact opposite. I said, no, it's bad. I feel like it's just objectively bad. And through the course of that review, that was actually like one of the turning points for our podcast, because that was the first time Jarvis went from, actually, I'm going to stick by liking this movie to, yeah, okay, it's bad. That's what Hunter does with me sometimes.
Oh, does
Is I talk to Hunter and I'm like, I don't think I like this. I did the same thing with Promising Young Woman, where I was like, I just couldn't see it, and you were like, yeah, but it's not taking itself too seriously. You're just thinking about it too seriously, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I am.
Yeah, I won't go off on Promising Young Woman. That's a whole.
Yeah, please don't. That's a
bit.
bit. I don't know if we should ever go through that one.
But yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. I guess I'm curious. Like, Han is the character that I love most in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Luke is kind of going through something that I am going to really. I mean, this lays the seeds for like the things that I really love about Luke later on. If anybody has ever, there's a couple of books called, I believe they're called From a Certain Point of View, and they are anthology short stories about Star Wars. What they did was they reached out to different authors and they said, pick a character that does not have a lot of time or only has a couple of lines. Pick like not even tertiary characters, like background characters in each of the movies, and write a short story about them. And like they did it for A New Hope and for Empire. I don't know if they'll ever do them again. I hope they do, like, because these books are so awesome to see these artists and these writers like pick up these small stories and create these small stories out of nothing. Griffin McElroy of the McElroy brothers, from My Brother and Me and The Adventure Zone, writes this incredible story about in the first book about a Jawa in the Sandcrawler who like is the Jawa, like he like has this little corner, this little like nook within the Sandcrawler that he crawls into, and he collects these little things he finds, and he draws on the walls of the Sandcrawler and like dreams of seeing the stars. And he finds R2 and accidentally plays the Leia message, and like suddenly has this like moment where he's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm seeing the galaxy in a new way. Like I'm touching the stars right now. I'm experiencing something beyond anything that I will ever see. I will never leave the Sandcrawler. I'll never leave Tatooine. This is my, I'm touching something right now. And it's so emotional and so cool. The reason I bring this up is that there's a really cool short story in the Empire one that I'm sorry I forgot who wrote it. I'll look it up while y'all are talking at some point. But like there's a really cool story about the cave on Dagobah being a sentient cave because it is full of the Force. And
I could see that,
it's so cool. Like it's such a cool perspective.
Very interesting.
And like
literally, so like if walls could talk is actually literal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like and like Luke journeys into the cave and has this vision of like of him being under Darth Vader's helmet and all of this stuff, right? Like that's where he has the little lightsaber duel. And
I think about that a lot too, being under Darth Vader's helmet.
Yeah, we all want to be put on the cowl, you know what I mean? Actually, I don't. I've never been.
I had one of those as a kid. The helmets, the voice changing helmets.
Oh, that's cool.
Very fun.
Really.
And now they sell them for like $200.
Yeah,
I hate you for that.
Yeah. No, I broke that. I used that thing until it was dead.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing I had as a kid from a movie was the Home Alone Talkboy tape recorder.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
But I think I would have liked a Vader helmet more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember why I brought that story up. It's connected to something, but I just think like that it's one of my favorite things about Star Wars in general, but really about Empire, is all of these little moments, these little characters, and these spaces where so many stories can open up and be alive.
Yeah,
I
agree with you. I think the coolest thing about Star Wars in general is just how open the world is.
Yeah.
The universe.
And so
the world.
There's sentient caves that
Alderaan.
like are trying, like this cave being connected to the Force and then like trying to tell Luke something that he needs to hear in the moment.
Yeah.
And that vision having so many different layers of like, not only is his DNA is under Darth Vader's helmet, but also like the real battle is going to be with himself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It's, there's just so many cool moments in this movie.
Which is where most of our battles are in our daily lives or with ourselves.
That's very deep, Jarvis.
Well,
That's true.
it's very deep. So
You are the only villain in your story. And you get to choose if you're going to defeat it or not.
Yeah, it's true. And like,
you've got the Obi-Wans on one shoulder and the Vaders on the other. And you got to decide who you listen
And
to.
sometimes the Yoda to go, yeah, burn the hut down. Who cares?
Sometimes the Yoda is literally on your shoulder throwing your balance off.
True.
it's true. It's true.
And you go, well, I would be able to lift this if you weren't so heavy. And he go, yeah, I'm the thing that's heavy.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like in.
And then he just gaslights you for the rest of your life.
So far, you guys have done New Hope, you've done Last Jedi, you've done Rise of Skywalker. This is only the fourth Star Wars movie.
This is the fourth Star Wars.
This is the fourth Star
So you haven't done Force, and you haven't done.
No, I think we're probably
prequels.
going to wait to do a Force Awakens for a
I
while.
think there's a lot of movies we want to do before we revisit Star Wars. There's so many movies out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess the reason I ask,
we pick our movies on a whim. So
there's no rhyme or reason.
there's no rhyme or reason.
Okay, cool.
Oh, well, some of them are. Like our next video is going to be a comment to
someone
request.
suggested it.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That's fun.
It's because we watched Paprika, and then they said, hey, you like Satoshi Kon?
Yeah. Cool.
they're like,
That's your spoiler, by the way,
I'll make sure
for next week.
I'll make sure you don't like Satoshi Kon after this one. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Huh?
So, final thoughts. Do you want to go last with your arbitrary rating?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all go first.
Go ahead.
I mean, this is obviously an own it. This is obviously an own it. You know, get the box set if you can afford it. Take out a loan for it. And,
Yeah, they're
pick it up.
still expensive for some reason.
Get the most expensive set you can and just watch the heck out of it and all the.
The special
commentary and
features
deleted
are
scenes.
always the best part
Look
of
for
the
that deleted
DVDs.
scene with Luke and that Wampa or whatever in the
Yeah, and then send it to us.
Now that he brought it up to us, I'm kind of curious about that scene. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube after this.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy that that thing was about to kill him, and Luke was like, "I'm gonna defeat you with the power of love." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind of like
that's what the
Scott
Force is.
Pilgrim.
That is what the Force is. It's
here,
Scott
big boy.
Pilgrim versus the world.
But so watch all the deleted scenes. Absolutely, like it's so iconic and it's so culturally important. I think just to American culture, movie culture, pop culture, like it's so deep rooted in that you should own it. You must.
Own it, you must.
Your lack of owning this movie disturbs me.
Yeah, I'd say own it too. It's one of those like, irregardless of how good or bad you think the movie is, it is just a part of film history as a whole, not just by virtue of its story, but like the innovations that it made in the whole process of making the movies. Own it. Watch the behind the scenes because the little model kits that they use to make the spaceships and everything are so cool. And yeah, what Jarvis said.
It's iconic, yeah.
Okay, so this is the arbitrary rating system,
Yeah.
the ARS.
Yeah. So it goes from don't watch it in the theaters, watch it, rewatch it, own it.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, it's own it. Obvious. I don't know. I think you guys made a really good point about it being like a culturally important movie. And I think for a lot of people, this is the consensus best Star Wars movie. Like, I think
Yeah, this
culture
is Star
kind of-
Wars.
Yeah. this is kind of like the definitive thing where they're like, everybody's like, oh, whoa, hold on, this is serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just A New Hope.
Even in Deadpool, the first one. There's
Oh,
an
yeah.
Empire reference.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's Empire references forever. I just think it's going to be like the most famous sci-fi movie ever made.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is a movie that I like connect to a lot about like spiritual journeys and emotional journeys and journeys of maturity that like it is so much about these. Most of what happens to the characters in this movie is completely out of their hands. They're being chased the entire time. You know what I mean? Or they're being like advised by like a ghostly voice or whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Railroad.
It's a lot of, there's a lot of railroading happening. And as a person who like has been through some things recently that like were totally out of my hands and has been through like several spirals, like there's something about this movie that I always come back to that is so much about like, okay, what do you do when everything's lost? What do you do? What other choice do you have, right? And the choices that they make to keep going, to stick together, to find ways to get through it together is, I mean, looking forward, right? Is, I don't know, really, really moving to me. And I just love these characters so much. We didn't talk a lot about Luke, but like Luke's whole thing in this movie is really important to me. I get it. Everybody's like, Luke's whiny. I'm like, yeah, Luke's us, man. When like stuff's happening and you're like, why is any of this happening to me?
We're all like Luke at the end of this movie. We all could use a hand.
It's true.
And with that, I want to thank everybody for watching, and for commenting and for subscribing. Hunter, say you know what time it is.
You know what time it is?
You know what I'm referencing?
Rhett and Link.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, I'll do my thing. Well, this was thanks for joining us for a very special episode where we have a guest, Hunter, and this is Full Time Movie Fans. We hope your day is everything you dreamed it'd be and more, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Like and subscribe, guys.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Hey, full-time MFers. You liked this video? 'Cause we sure did. If you liked it, maybe you should share it with your friends. Maybe like the video and subscribe.
If we were you, that's what we would do. If I was watching this,
I'd be all over that.
Like, and I'd hit that share, and then I would hit that subscribe in that order.
Yeah. There's also another video that's popped up. YouTube thinks you like this one, so you should watch that one now.
See you next time.